says that we're live on Facebook.
Awesome.
Usually takes a little tiny bit. Here we go. Okay, going live now. And then they got the. All right, there we go. We're live, and I just lost the screen on Facebook, but they should be able to see us. There we go. Perfect. Yes, we're live.
We're live.
All
We
right.
got it.
How's it going, everyone? How are you? How are you? As everybody that's on or is going to be on, hopefully knows by now, we've gone gray for May on the Painting with Jesse page, and we through the month we had a series of events that some of you participated with. Um, I made it well known that we partnered up with the National Brain Tumor Society for this whole series of events that we did in May. We have Lauren Gaynor from the National Brain Tumor Society. She is the Senior Director of Community Events. Is that right, Lauren?
Yes, you nailed it over there. Yep.
Awesome. So she's on here to give us a little bit of insight to all the amazing things that they do at the National Brain Tumor Society. And so please help me welcoming Lauren. Really quickly, I just want to talk about the format of today's session. I'm still a little tiny bit under the weather, so I'm going to be drinking lots of water and tea. I've got a little bit of green tea with chlorophyll here. You'll see me sipping throughout. But we have about an hour to do the session today, so I've got a series of questions that I'm going to be bombarding Lauren with. So she's going to be a trooper and go through these questions with us. You can put your comments in the comment section. I don't know that we'll get to any questions. It just depends on the timeline. But feel free to say hello, post comments, and if we can, we will definitely look at some of those questions and answer them for you, or at least, depending on the question. Let's see, we got some people already saying hello. Awesome, you guys can hear us okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much for the sound check. So absolutely. So anyway, Lauren, welcome to the chat today. I absolutely appreciate you being on here. Really quick side note, everybody, when I reached out to the National Brain Tumor Society to see if they'd like to partner up with me on this, I absolutely was like, oh my gosh, they're going to be like, who the heck is this guy? What does he want? Why is he even reaching out? But within like 12 hours, by the next day, Lauren had reached out and said, I'd love to, talk a little more about this. And so she's been absolutely great, super easy to work with, and it has been a pleasure. So thank you, Lauren. And, definitely appreciate, I appreciate your helpfulness throughout.
Thank you.
But anyway, welcome. And tell us a little bit about yourself, if you could, in National Brain Tumor Society.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, hi, everybody out there who is watching right now. And then a very special thank you to you, Jesse. I was just thrilled when you reached out and really excited about how you were looking to channel something that you're passionate about into progress and to fueling our mission. And so it has equally been as amazing to get to partner with you and work with you on this. And so we'll be talking a little bit about that as well, kind of within our conversation, I'm sure. But just wanted to express our thanks as well, because one of the things that I get to do as the Senior Director of Community Events, as you had shared, is I have the opportunity of working with individuals around the country who are hosting their own events, their own fundraisers in support of the National Brain Tumor Society mission. And we work with events of all shapes and sizes and styles and types and live streams and things like that. And so when Jesse had reached out, we were just really excited to be able to partner, because this is one of the creative ways in which our community is channeling their artistic capabilities into, as I said, fueling progress and raising funds and raising awareness. And this is also Brain Tumor Awareness Month, which you had mentioned, Jesse. So we also call it Go Gray in May, or, Go Gray May, or Gray May. And so we have people who are taking action all over the country, all over the world, in fact, by wearing gray, by hosting fundraisers, and really just taking action for this mission. And so, a key takeaway with Brain Tumor Awareness Month as well, which I know we're kind of at the tail end of that, but is our mission continues all throughout the year, every single day. And so, you can take action and reach out to me at any point. So anyways, I know I kind of circled around there, but as a senior director, I work with people in the community who are looking to honor their loved ones. And so just expressing my gratitude to you, Jesse. So thank you very much.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure. Really quick, I do want to announce we hit the goal of raising $1,000, which was set at the very beginning of the month. We surpassed it by a little bit. We are still taking donations through the rest of the day. If any of you is interested, I did provide the link in the description of the session. If you guys are able, click on that link. It'll take you over to the National Brain Tumor Society's page, where you'll see the link to the page that I created for the group for the fundraising purposes of our events this month. So if you guys can, click on that link, head on over there, and yeah, donate. But so Lauren, I've got some questions for you. I'm going to kind of go through them, and you might have already talked a little bit about this. Actually, the first one was to give us a little bit of an overview on the mission of the Brain Tumor Society. So you covered that. One of the questions that I think a lot of people would be really interested in knowing is, how has the landscape of brain tumor research and treatment evolved over the years, and what are some of the recent breakthroughs and developments? Can you speak a little bit on that, or is that something that
Absolutely, Jesse. Yeah, 100%, of course. I appreciate that, and the thoughtful question. This is something that is, of course, important to talk about, and directly correlates to our mission and the work that we're doing as well. So just as a quick overview on that too, so people can really hear the mission as well. So as an organization, we unrelentingly invest in, mobilize, and unite our community to discover a cure, deliver effective treatments, and advocate for patients and their care partners. And so each of those different parts of our mission, we deliver them in 3 interconnected and strategic programs. So those are Defeat, Connect, and Change. And so just to dive into those a little bit farther. So through our Defeat program, we fund best-in-class medical research aimed at not only discovering new treatments, but also delivering them to patients as well, because access is truly something that we value and is crucial and critical to the brain tumor community and the medical community as a whole. Through our Connect program, we convene, we educate, and also we unite the brain tumor community. And we do this through a variety of ways. And so I'm sure that I'll touch on some of those as we kind of continue our conversation. But to give you guys kind of a really quick snapshot and high level, in case anybody out there is watching and would want to take action on any of these services that we provide, I think it's important for me to kind of share. Is that okay, Jesse, for me to jump into some of those? Okay, all right, just want to make sure. I know I'm going, again, a little bit off the topic of the initial, but I promise I will get to that as well. So within NBTS, in our Connect program, we have many different services. So one of those is our brain tumor support conversations. So this is actually a virtual support group for patients and caregivers by patients and caregivers. And, Jesse, I know that you have a personal connection to our mission, and we hear all the time from our community that being able to have this outlet to be able to connect with others and speak with others who are going through the same thing has been just crucial for people's mental health, for being able to just have that sense of community. And so that's one of the things that we offer, in addition actually to a grief support group as well, which is something that's been more recent, but has just been a incredibly valuable way, again, of people coming together around this mission. Another thing that I want to mention as well is we also have our personalized navigation program. So this is where a medical professional on staff is there to speak directly one-on-one with patients and caregivers to provide quality and unbiased information and resources about that individual's healthcare journey. So, whether it is making connections, or giving the individual what questions they should be asking their doctors, or considerations and things to think about. It is just such a crucial piece of how we activate and deliver our mission, and something that I encourage individuals out there, if they are interested in being in touch with NBTS, to do, and to email our patient navigator. And I actually I'm going to pop this in the chat really quick, Jesse, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
And actually, I'll also include over here our national website as well, because that's important to be able to find where our support services are as well, if you're looking for resources, or just to learn a little bit more about what we do. So those are some of the things that we offer, and how we deliver our mission through our Connect program. And then last but certainly not least, we also have our Change program as well. And so this is where we fuel the voice and the power of the brain tumor community to advocate and influence public policy. And so really what we want to do is we're advocating for increased federal funding for brain tumor research, and also advocating for legislation that would help patients access treatment. Because again, access is incredibly important. So, so that's just I guess, the overarching scope of our mission. And, Jesse, this is a way that, especially through our Connect program, that we are impacting the brain tumor community in a real and tangible way every single day. So that's just, something important for anybody who out there is listening to know. But
real quick question, Lauren, did you post?
Yeah,
please.
Please.
You post a link? Did you post something? It didn't pop up yet.
Oh, it didn't pop up yet. So I put it in the private chat. Should I put it in the comments? Is that?
Put it in the comments, correct? Yeah. Put it in
so
the comments. Oh, there we go. Oh, I see. Give me a second. I can grab it from there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to bring it over and put it into the chat. There we go. We can do it that way. You can also put it in the comment section.
Thanks for bearing with me, Jesse. This is actually one of my first StreamYards. So, when, just everybody kind of started getting on Zoom and Teams and all the different platforms, there was just like that learning curve where people would have their microphone off, and like, we can't hear you. So
I've been using StreamYard for, I think, something like 2.5 years now.
Wow.
Excuse me. And I still run into glitches, and sometimes they'll change some of the stuff, some of the processes, and I'm sure they send communications out, but I don't see them. I don't look for them. Next thing I know, I'm on here and I'm like, okay, where'd my button go? Just yesterday, as a matter of fact, some of the screen formats, I was in the middle of a live and I'm going, where are my screen formats? Where'd they go? They're always here. And anyway, so yeah, there's that learning curve. And then of course, every platform uses a different format, and then you got, changes within those formats. So absolutely. So I just went ahead and posted into the comment section. Now, tell us again what that link is, just so that everybody has a.
Absolutely. So over here, so the patient navigator, braintumor.org, that is a direct email to our patient navigator, who, like I said, is the medical professional on staff who provides that quality, unbiased information. So no matter where you are in your healthcare journey, if you are a newly diagnosed brain tumor patient, if you are a long-term brain tumor survivor, if you are a caregiver and you're looking for more resources or support, no matter who you are, how you're connected to the mission, if you have a question and need support, we want to be able to make that connection with you. So that email, and then braintumor.org, that's our national email, our national website. So that is the gateway to all of our support services, all of our information, all of the work that we're doing. So I'm sure that I'll reference that as well as we kind of continue chatting. But that is really the go-to if you guys are looking to learn more about anything that we chat about today.
If any of you have not had the chance yet, I encourage you to go check out their page, especially if you know somebody who's going through something like this, or maybe you yourself, is going through something like this. Go on their website. I didn't get a chance to navigate all of it yet, but there are tons of things on there that are super helpful, resources and community stuff that's going on. Or if you're interested in participating in community events and things like that, you can go on there and see what's going on, right? You can kind of see what's happening under the fundraising parts of
Absolutely.
it, or the events. So definitely encourage you guys to go check out their site. But all right, so fantastic. Lots of really good information, Lauren.
Yeah. And Jesse, I realized I never like fully answered your initial
Oh,
question.
okay. That's right. Let's go
Um,
back to that.
so
Okay, there we
one thing I just briefly wanted to share about that, we don't have to dive in, because if we go through the entire brain tumor, landscape, we could be here for a while. But just wanted to share that, over the last decade, the field of brain tumor research has grown significantly, which is what we want to be hearing. And now more than ever, there is truly an understanding of the inner workings of brain tumors specifically. So really the types of mutations and other molecular changes that cause tumors to grow, and also ways tumors are able to evade most treatment attempts, as well. So, in terms of some of the developments that have been critical to the field of brain tumor research that I just wanted to share with everybody is, the World Health Organization, also known as WHO, updated its classification of brain tumors in 2016 and then again in 2021. And they made this update because we as a field have learned so much more about brain tumors in recent years. And because of these updates, we now define and categorize brain tumors based on the mutations that they have and other biomarkers, and not just how they look under a microscope. So what this does is this really changes the way brain tumors are diagnosed, and also the potential treatment options that are offered, which is important. You want to ensure that the treatment plan that you and your care team are setting are directly aligning with the specific brain tumor type and mutation that you have as well. And then also knowing more about these tumors also means that we're starting to understand how they are vulnerable as well. And these vulnerabilities, we can kind of think of these as like the Achilles heel, so to speak. And what we would want to do is target these vulnerabilities with medicines and treatments. And that's really what NBTS is focused on. So one of the approaches, just to kind of get some behind the scenes information on the work that we're doing, is we are interested in a brain tumor's DNA damage response system. So essentially how brain tumors repair themselves after they've been hit with standard treatments like chemotherapy and radiation. And so one of our major research efforts is looking into drugs that can actually block a brain tumor's DNA damage response process. So halting its ability to repair itself. Mm-hmm. So potential treatments can, the hope is that we would be able to then target the tumor with potential treatments. And the great thing about the work that we're doing is a breakthrough in one area could actually have implications for other brain tumor types as
Sure.
well. And so really the net of it is that 20 years ago, we were studying tumors under a microscope, and today we can employ all sorts of advanced techniques to better understand what's going on inside these cells. And this is leading to a whole new avenue of potential treatment options that are now being explored. So, Jesse, I know you and I historically have kind of chatted about this, that at NBTS, we say that community is here and breakthroughs are ahead. And that's what we're funding. That's what we're fueling, is the breakthroughs of tomorrow. So that's just a little bit more about the landscape and everything. So I hope that.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick question on that. And I think we briefly talked about one of our previous conversations about when they do sometimes what are those called? Those trials?
Clinical trials.
Clinical trials.
Yeah.
Does NBTS have information on those in case somebody happens to have something that's, they're interested in looking at some of that stuff?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm actually so glad that you brought this up, because this is also one of the support services that we offer. Again, braintumor.org for kind of the comprehensive list of everything. But, we understand and we recognize that it can be confusing and overwhelming to understand what clinical trial may be best for you. or your loved one. And the NBTS Clinical Trial Finder is an easy way to search for a local trial for your specific brain tumor type. So there's all kinds of filters there, but it essentially is your home base and your go-to for being able to see what trials are out there. So I definitely recommend individuals going to that and, typing in their information, or again, if you're not sure how to use it, email our patient navigator and say, here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I'm trying to find. Am I in the right place? And that's something that has been invaluable to patients being able to advocate for themselves and empower themselves with information, because we truly believe that, an informed patient is able to make the best decisions about their care. And we are hopeful that we can be part of that information gathering and part of that empowerment of your healthcare journey as well. I'm so glad that you brought that up, Jesse. Thank you.
You got it. Fantastic. And just a really quick kind of little side note, when my wife was diagnosed in 2022 now, and still last year sometime, the beginning of last year, we had no idea that anything like this existed. We were caught so off guard. We basically, our support group was our family and a few friends and stuff. But as far as I know, that if we would have known that something like this existed, it would have made things a lot easier, because as I've looked through your guys' website, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh wow, look, there's lots of information there that we would have found really helpful to help us make better decisions, to feel a little bit more like we were on the right path. Whereas, it was very confusing. We had our doctors who were really supportive. We had a good support group at the hospital too. But you always question, is this the right path? Are there alternatives? What else is there? We had some people reach out to us and say, hey, have you guys looked into this? Instead of them opening up her brain, is there a possibility that they can do it this way? And there's this, there were lots of questions around whether we were navigating the process the right way, whether we were doing what was best for Erica. And, I think, again, had we known of this, of a resource like this, we would have been better equipped to feel more comfortable. I think in the end, we made all the right decisions, but it was partly also luck, so we had a good support system in place, I think, at the hospital. It gave us the right info, but it could have been helpful to add more comfort in it, I think, to be able to go through the National Brain Tumor Society,
absolutely, and
the resources you guys offer. So,
well, I'm first and foremost happy to hear that you and Erica feel that your care team was really supportive and you guys had made the right decisions. And, we recognize that with a brain tumor diagnosis comes a lot of different challenges. There's a lot of stressors. Sometimes you're having to make decisions, with the information that you have on hand, and you really want to be able to sit down and say, okay, what's the right information? And there's so much information out there, and we just want to be able to get you access to the correct information for your brain tumor type and your brain tumor diagnosis. And that's just something that's really critical. Every brain tumor diagnosis is different, and really what impacts individual's experience with a brain tumor are a lot of different factors. There's the health factors, such as where the tumor is located, the size, the type, the treatment plan, and then also external factors. So insurance coverage, socioeconomic situation, geography. These are all things that patients and their caregivers go through during treatment with a diagnosis, and then the aftercare process as well. So we hear this, unfortunately, too often, that, I didn't know where to go when I was diagnosed. I didn't know what questions to ask. And I'm so glad I found you now. Or we wish we had been able to navigate the beginning of our brain tumor journey, in tandem with NBTS. So my camera go out? There we go. Okay.
Frozen. I said, oh no.
I was like, oh no, I didn't even touch anything. But just to kind of to wrap up that point and what you had shared, we just want to be there for people when they need us, and part of that is getting the word out, and that's hopefully what we're doing today as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of really amazing information in there. And as I'm going through the questions, we're probably going to overlap. Hopefully, these for everyone to listen to. The video go out for a second. I saw the video go out for a second on my end.
There we go. It looks like we're
You still
back.
there?
I heard, yeah, I am. If you could hear me, I heard the audio start to go, and I was like, if I just sit still, maybe maybe it will come back. So, yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Good. Now I feel like I want to give me one quick second. Okay. Don't anybody move. Give me a sec.
Take your time over there.
Oh, that's not what I was.
Oh
That's
no.
not what I was trying to do. Here I am trying to be slick about this. Give me a second, everyone. I have a hard wire. I have a landline that connects right to the router, and I decided I better connect that. So you might see a little bit of a glitchiness for a second, and we'll be back. But I definitely lost one of my paintings. I was hiding my cord back there. But it's okay. So let's go ahead and go to that. Let's go to the next question. Let's see. So, what are some of the common challenges faced by brain tumor patients and their families, and how does the National Brain Tumor Society help address the challenges? Now, I know we've talked about that there's resources available, but can we talk a little bit about that? Common challenges faced by brain tumor patients and their families, and how you guys help with those.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So to kind of piggyback a little bit of actually what we just were talking about, that, of course, we recognize that there's the health factors and then also some of those external factors as well. We know that for many patients with a malignant brain tumor, we know that they will face a frustrating lack of treatment options. We also know that a brain tumor can potentially leave patients with physical or cognitive effects as well. And that many families struggle with insurance issues and those external factors that I had talked about, challenges related to accessing or affording their treatments. And at NBTS, we're trying to, of course, through our DEFEAT program that I had spoken about, accelerate the development of new and better treatments for patients. And we're also trying to provide those resources and support to help patients and caregivers as they navigate their brain tumor diagnosis. So we recognize that there's a lot of challenges, but we also want to be able to show you that we are here for you in that process and that you're not alone. And that I think is something that hopefully people can seek assurance in is, that's
Awesome.
who we are. That's why we're here. So
Fantastic. Okay, let's see. So I have one here. Can you talk about the importance of art and creative outlets in providing support and therapy for individuals affected by brain tumors?
absolutely. Yeah. So, personally, of course, I truly believe that artistic outlets are a beautiful way to process things in life. No matter what your passion is, I think that, across the board, it's a really great way to channel your feelings and channel your either frustrations or your celebrations in life. And it can be the inspiration for so many things. And so I, on a personal level, think it is absolutely fantastic when people have a passion project and they're able to really channel things through it. But at NBTS, we also understand and recognize that there are so many complex emotions in the brain tumor, in a brain tumor diagnosis and within someone's healthcare journey. But, we've offered a number of ways that brain tumor patients can cope and their family members can cope with the challenges of brain tumors. So one of the things that we have offered to our community is Meditation Mondays. So this is a really beautiful way for our community to be able to come together to meditate and really be able to have that safe space and that quiet space for them. And this is actually a practice that is led by one of our staff members, who is just a beautiful human being inside and out. And so I encourage people, if you're looking for a meditation, practice to go to, we would be happy to have you as part of that. So again, braintumor.org to sign up for those and see how you can access those.
Is that a live thing? Is that something that happens live?
So I believe that it is live. I know historically it has been live, and I do believe that it is a live session. So don't worry, you can have cameras off and things like that. So hopefully I'm not misspeaking over here, but from my understanding that it is something that is live, and you know, Tori is just an amazing human being and does a really beautiful job with those. So again, safe space, part of the community if anybody wants to join those. And then, we've also historically hosted things like journaling workshops as well. I know a lot of members of the community have written books or have written music, and really channeling things through words or through song or other artistic avenues has been really beneficial to them as well. And so the activities that we host as an organization hopefully can help foster some of those like artistic outlets and people who are trying to express themselves. But Jesse, not to like throw it back to you over here, but I feel like our community would love to hear, and anybody that's watching or listening would love to hear a little bit more for you personally, how you feel like activating this creative outlet of painting has been beneficial to you, leading up to, during, and after as well your wife's brain tumor diagnosis.
So art. So I'll go back. I'll go back a ways, even before anything with with my wife's brain tumor. Throughout my life, I've been doing art since I was really young, and I found it to be extremely helpful, cathartic, even at times, depending on the experiences that I was going through in life. Without really thinking about it too much, I would, some difficulty would arise, and I'd throw myself into my art, everything that I was feeling, whether even if it was happy thoughts, would go onto that canvas, and then afterwards I would feel much better, right? Negativity, anger, whatever, frustration, whatever it was. For me, throughout my life, it's been a form of meditation without even me realizing that that's what was happening. More recently, over the past few years, as I began to teach people, I began to realize how many people do it for its therapeutic nature. People going through illnesses, hardships, etc., find an outlet in art, whether it's painting, drawing, sculpting, music, etc. It is such an outlet, and it's relatively, depending on what you're endeavoring in, but it's relatively easy to access. But it definitely provides a therapy of sorts that I think lots of people aren't aware of. When this happened with my wife, that we found out she had a brain tumor, it was really helpful for me to go into my painting group here in Facebook, where I would paint, and it would help me, at least for a little while, focus on that painting that we were doing together. The first month when we first found out she had the diagnosis. So real quickly, I have a private group here in Facebook, private art group. When we first found out that she was, she had a brain tumor, I didn't know how to break it to them. I tried to kind of keep it to myself. We weren't sure what was going on or what was going to happen. But, eventually I told them, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. And the beautiful thing about an art community is I think art creates a connection. It creates support, like this is a support of like-minded individuals, support from like-minded individuals, and everybody just kind of rallied around me and really supported us, and that was amazing. So there was that part of it, but being able to go into the group once a week, whatever we were doing at the time, just focusing on that painting, on that piece that we were doing, just really helped me clear my thoughts, and it made things a little bit more bearable. Times were really difficult. They were crazy. They were chaotic. We were running on very little sleep, and it was just super helpful to me. So anybody that's in here, watching probably is a little artistic because they come from the painting with Jesse Page, unless maybe some people might have kind of jumped in throughout because of the brain tumor part of it. But anybody that's out there that does not yet or does very little of anything with art, I absolutely encourage you to go out and find something that you enjoy doing in the artistic area. It is, even if it has nothing to do with an illness, but just in a general sense, I think there are therapeutic benefits that most people aren't aware of. If you don't involve yourself with creating, again, whether it's music, painting, drawing, whatever it is, you don't realize that there are all these benefits that really can have a super positive impact in your life. So I encourage you to get out there and do that. Okay. So
absolutely.
But yes, and I am so excited that you guys at MBTS, see that benefit. We were talking the other day, and when you said that, I was like, oh, what? You guys do see that, as such a positive thing. And I think it's become more prevalent, more obvious over the past few years that art has that power to heal and to create such positivity in people's lives. So but anyway.
No, I couldn't agree more, Jesse. And I think, you're spot on that we've seen, at least I personally have in my personal world and extended networks, that over the last several years, due to, various things, people are picking up hobbies in these creative outlets, whether it's DIYing furniture or scrapbooking or sewing. And, historically, I've loved many of those things that I just mentioned. And those are also creative outlets as well. So it doesn't have to be this, traditional, if there is even a way of categorizing something as traditional, means of being an artist. I think that there's so many ways that we express ourselves and channel our creative passions in life. And I think it's important for people to know that, within the Fundraise Your Way program, which I had mentioned earlier, I work with people on, and how I'm getting to work with you, Jesse, as well, is we have people who host events and fundraisers of all different styles and types. So people who host concerts, people who, are writing books, people who make and sell bracelets, or hosting a bake sale. Or there was an individual that I worked with where, for her bat mitzvah project, had sold like handmade hot chocolate orbs that go in hot chocolate and kind of disintegrate and everything, and handmade those and sold those to our community. And so just anything that you can think of is really a way to turn, pain into progress, or turn something you're passionate into progress as well. So we appreciate, Jesse, you being a champion for the artistic community, because it's so important to keep the arts alive. So that's me personally talking, but
hopefully for me, the goal is to do this every year. Every May. Maybe we'll do other things around this too throughout the year. I know it's not just in May, as you mentioned. This goes on. It's a battle that goes on every day. So where I can, and I think as time goes on, my goal is to, get a little more into it and advocate a little bit more in however I can. So
absolutely. No, we so appreciate it, Jesse. And also too, I know one of the things that we had talked about was how people can get involved and support the National Brain Tumor Society. And there's so many different ways that we have people engage with us. So obviously I just chatted about the Fundraise Your Way program, and taking something you're passionate about and hosting a fundraiser or raising awareness with it. We also have, again, braintumor.org. On our tab of events, we have walks, rides, races around the country. And so if you are looking to get involved with an event that NBTS hosts, go and check that out and see if there's something close to you. And again, if not, you're welcome to start something through the Fundraise Your Way program and get to work with me. And then if you are, you poor thing, I feel like that cold is so tough over there.
Yeah, it's much better. It's just the last lingering parts of it. So It's annoying.
I was gonna say, I'm glad that you have your tea over there. I was gonna say, I've got my
Yeah.
water too, so we're taking some sips and everything. Cheers to that. Oh, that's right. So, and a few other things I just wanted to mention to everybody too. So, we also have our Gray Nation Endurance Program, where we have individuals who are putting meaning behind their miles, whether they are, selecting a race of their own, creating a donation page, and asking friends and family to support them with a donation to help them achieve their, marathon or Ironman or hiking goal or kayaking goal or whatever it is. And we also have bibs to marathons around the country. So we have bibs to New York City, full marathon, half marathon, LA full marathon, half marathon, Big Sur. Historically, we've had bibs to Boston. And we are always looking and exploring new races to get involved in. So if you want to put meaning behind your miles within BTS, that's another way that you can do it. Also, people can be an advocate. So not just with our flagship advocacy event, Head to the Hill, which is a day of advocating for the urgent needs of the brain tumor community on Capitol Hill. But we also have the ability for you to be an advocate all year round. And so really what that means is reaching out to your members of Congress when, or your local government, when there are important actions that we need for you to reach out to those individuals and say, this is an important issue and we want you to support the work that we are championing to pave the way and create more ease of access to treatment options, or our public policy that is working to better the lives of brain tumor patients across the board. And then another thing too, Jesse, this what you had said made me think of this. You had said about how Brain Tumor Awareness Month was what you were doing this Go Gray in May effort for. But we also have something else I wanted to just flag for people, that we have another important day of awareness, and that is Glioblastoma Awareness Day, and this is July 19th. So it is similar to Brain Tumor Awareness Month in that it's a meaningful day of action and awareness. And we encourage people to reach out if you are wanting to engage with us. And we will be making some announcements coming up here on our social platforms, or you can sign up for our newsletter. Again, go to braintumor.org and in the contact us option, fill out that form and we'll have you on our information. So that's a way that you can get in touch with us and learn a little bit more about GBM Awareness Day as well.
So really quick, folks, I think I've got, let's see, we are talking about how we're already talking about how to get involved with the National Brain Tumor Society behind Brain Tumor Awareness Month. Are there any upcoming events or initiatives that the audience? I think we just kind of actually talked about that.
Yeah. I know I kind of jumped ahead over there.
That's okay. That's okay.
Wanted to segue into that. And actually, as we're chatting, so Jesse, I'm going to put this, the links that we just talked about in the private chat over here, because for some reason I don't have access to the comments. I'm not sure why.
Oh, weird. Yeah, they're not popping up. I noticed that too.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the comments on the I just kind of jump over to the Facebook page for a moment.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so that's how you're. Okay, that makes total sense. So I'm going to put over here the link to braintumor.org/events, the Fundraise Your Way page, the link to create a donation page if anybody wants to, and then also a link to learn more about becoming an advocate over here. So just making sure.
Now, really quick, folks. One thing that I noticed when I talked to Lauren early on in the month when we were, setting everything up for this, or first talking about doing this stuff. Let me grab that link and bring it over to the Facebook page. It was super easy for me to make the donation page right on the NBTS page. You're able to create your own, kind of like your own personal page for your fundraiser. If you're deciding that you want to create your own fundraiser, you can very easily go on there and then take the link from that fundraiser and share it with your friends, family, on your social media, etc. For those of you that are interested in doing that, it was super, super easy. I think it took me maybe 5 minutes. maybe a little tiny bit more because I had to make some slight adjustments, but it was super easy. And I was like, this is it. Wow. And you can set a goal at the top saying, hey, this is what our, what that goal, what we're trying to raise, how much we're trying to raise. And then I think you could also change that later if you wanted to. Is that right, Lauren? You can always adjust it. So pretty cool and very simple for those of you that might be interested in getting involved. I did have a couple of people reach out to me and say, hey, I'm interested in doing my own fundraiser around this. How would I go about this? And then I kind of did the same thing where I provided the link to the fundraising page where you can then go through and create your own. So for those of you that might be interested in getting involved that way, that it is really, really easy to do so. Or again, you look on their page and look at all the stuff that's happening. There might be an event. Are the events? Can you search for an event local?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to the events tab and then find or start an event, there will be a search bar there. So you can search just kind of generally, you can search for, if you search signature events, that's an NBTS hosted event. If you search for community events, those are other fundraisers that people in our community are hosting. And then also, you'll see the awareness days and months, meditation Mondays on there, our virtual support group. So it's all the different events on there. So I really encourage people to go on there and check that out. And that's actually really amazing feedback, Jesse, as well, that you found the process really simple, intuitive, because that's our hope is that it is, people are wanting to celebrate their loved ones and to take action, that it's easy to do so. And you're so right. You can personalize your URL, the photo, the content in there. You can increase or decrease your goal. It's really about making sure that you are able to fundraise your way, when and how you want to do that. So one of these links over here, I realized how it kind of showed up in the chat when I put it in here was a little bit wonky with the lining up with each of the different options. But I put in the link to just the NBTS events page, the Fundraise Your Way page, if you wanted to create a donation page, and then again to our advocacy program as well. So Perfect. That was all those.
So again, folks, I've taken those links and I put them in the comment section on the Facebook feed. Okay, so for those of you that are interested in any of that, or even simply visiting the NBTS page, you can click on any of those and just kind of use the navigator to get you around. But lots of really important information in there. Hopefully sooner rather than later, we're gonna knock this disease out of the universe. We're gonna do that kind of thing where it no longer exists. At least that's the hope.
Absolutely.
So are you ready for another question here?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely, Jesse.
Let's see. I think we might have covered all this. Let's see. Okay, we talked about getting involved. Okay. And then I think we've kind of covered all this. Just kind of finally, do you have a message for our community as we come together in support of Brain Tumor Awareness Month?
Yeah, absolutely. And, as I had kind of said in the beginning, almost as a spoiler, so to speak, that, we are in Brain Tumor Awareness Month, and today's the last day of Gray May for Brain Tumor Awareness Month. But our work continues and is an all year round effort. And so, Brain Tumor Awareness Month is something that we do to raise our voices for our community. And that's really what we're about, is the word community. So Jesse, as you and I chatted about the other day, and then also, within this conversation, we've talked about community a few different times. And as we say, community here, breakthroughs ahead. And so we know, one of the reasons that we talk about community so much is because we know that the brain tumor experience can feel lonely. And we know this is the case because not everybody can understand what you as an individual are going through. And with that being said, we want you to know that there are many others who do get it, who do understand. And you are able to connect with those individuals who are part of this community through NBTS, through brain tumor support conversations, through our events, through Meditation Mondays, and more. this is a disease that no one needs to face alone. And our community has always been our greatest strength. And we always say that we are powered by people, and together we can make a real tangible impact and, progress in the fight to conquer and cure brain tumors once and for all. So that's really the message that I have for you, is we are here for you. If you need us, when you need us, and all you need to do is reach out.
Fantastic. I'm going to look through the comments. Maybe see if somebody asked how much we raised. What's happening, Melinda? Just saying hello to some of the people that I'm seeing popping on here. Hi, Angie. So we ended up raising, so far we've raised $1,028 for the fundraiser, which I'm extremely happy about. And so for everyone that's donated, not just those of you that have donated, but those of you that have also shared, or maybe you were only able to share the event. There are other ways besides donating. There are other ways to get involved. You can share. You can simply, by sharing the events that we were doing this month, you help raise advocacy. Right, the more people that know about this, you help raise awareness. So thank you for all of you that have shared, donated, talked about this, reached out, et cetera, et cetera.
And again, Jesse, one thing to know as well about your page is that will be open for the duration of the year, actually. So if you wanted to, if anybody in the future wanted to make a donation, we are leaving that active. So just know that because it is the 31st of May, that the page isn't going to be shut down.
Oh, fantastic.
So there's still opportunities to support.
So we can just leave that. We can just leave that open indefinitely, and I could throw that in there from time to time.
Absolutely, if you wanted to, just as an FYI to you and to everybody else out there as well.
I like that. I thought there was a cutoff that I had to abide by. So which doesn't make sense, but that's where my brain went with that. So okay.
No, that's okay. Not to put you on the spot over here, but
let's see. What else do we got? We got hi Angie, and not Angie, sorry, Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl. I said hi to Angie, and of course I said hi to Don earlier. What else do we have as far as? So somebody's asking. Angie's asking, any or are all cancers genetic? Now, folks, please understand some of these questions we may not be able to answer, but Lauren, I don't know if you, I'm no expert. I can't answer some of this stuff, but Lauren, is there anything you could provide on that with regards to that question?
Great question. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to our patient navigator to, have more of that conversation about, brain tumors and sources and things like that as well. My understanding is, there's more research that needs to be done in areas such as that. But for NBTS, we are focused on a lot of translational research, which is about getting treatments, approved and effective treatments, approved and accessible to our community. So that's something that as an organization, we are personally really focused on.
Perfect. Let's see. And then there was another question here that popped up. Let's see. There's somebody from one of our listeners is in the UK. Rachel Simmons. She's one of the members in my group.
Oh wow!
All the way out in the UK. Is there access in the UK to NBTS, or I'm sure there's other resources out there, but is NBTS is it just in the United States, or what is the outreach?
Absolutely. I'm actually so happy that this question was posed. I know I talk so much about working with people around the country, but we are here to support anybody who is global, who wants to connect with us. The other day, I put somebody in touch with our patient navigator who was out of the country, and we're looking for treatment options within the United States. And so we are definitely able to work with people outside of the country as well. So please don't let your geographic state be a prohibitive factor in engaging with us.
Awesome. And then we got somebody else here. Ivy says, my mom passed 5 years ago to the day of brain tumor /cancer. Much more info out there. Sorry to hear about your mom, Ivy. It's
Yeah.
after having created the this whole thing around brain tumors for May, lots of people reached out, and it was it was a little difficult to kind of realize how much this impacts people. Uh, you know, so yeah, definitely our condolences to your mom. I'm sure 5 years ago probably still seems like yesterday. So, you know, definitely we've got to find a cure. We got to find a cure for all these different brain tumors.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I know it's not easy for people to share personal connections to our mission, and I just appreciate you putting that in the chat and feeling comfortable that this was a safe space for you. And then also too, I know I mentioned it briefly, but a really critical resource that we have are our grief support groups as well. So we've really received beautiful feedback on that it's been a really crucial piece in the healing process. So we welcome anybody, again, to go on our website and to sign up for those as well.
Are there counselors on staff? Is that kind of?
So it's a member of a vetted member of our community who has background and the appropriate the appropriate background to be hosting a grief support group. So we want to ensure that it is not only a safe space, but also a productive space. And then also the members of our community feel like they are being taken care of and in the hands of a professional as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, like I said, there are so many resources that I saw in NBTS on the website that it was pretty amazing. Again, I wish we would have known that there were resources like this back last year. We were just too, and probably had I even thought about it, or had Erica and I thought about it, we would have searched, but we were just so overwhelmed with everything that was going on. We had a 2-month-old at the time, and COVID was still a thing where you couldn't. We had to protect Erica from getting COVID, because if she got COVID, then they wouldn't be able to do surgery on her, and it was just a lot of stuff going on. So had we known, I think again things would have been much easier all around. Let's see. So we've got a question here. Cheryl says, my personal experience is with a child, 8 years old now. I'm curious about the difference in dealing with a child. I think she's asking if there's a difference.
Yeah.
I suppose that's something that you could reach out to National Brain Tumor Society and Navigator. Is that where she would go?
Yeah, that's my recommendation. Full transparency, I am not a medical professional. And so I want to ensure that the information that you are getting is the correct information. And our patient navigator can definitely speak to that. And we understand, especially with our pediatric patients, that there are as the caregiver, a whole host of considerations and things that you're weighing and thinking about. And so we want to make sure that you have access to those considerations, and also, suggestions on that are targeted to your specific loved one's brain tumor diagnosis or diagnosis.
So if they click on the link, where do they find the patient navigator? So when you're looking at this, to kind of just a quick little.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. No, I'm so glad that you said that. So either they can just copy and paste that patient navigator email that I believe was one of the first ones that we had put in there, patient navigator at braintumor.org. Okay. Or if you go to braintumor.org, there is just a support services tab. And under that should be something that says like personalized navigation. And so that is where you would go to learn more about that. We actually refreshed our entire website last year. And so it's very user-friendly. But with that being said, the support services tab is really going to be where you're going to find a lot of value with things that can be beneficial to you. The clinical trial Finder, the Meditation Mondays, all of the things that we've talked about are right in that tab. So I encourage people to go and check those out. Absolutely.
One quick question that just kind of popped up: is there, if somebody needed to talk, so let's say they're going through something like this, them or a family member, and they're in one of those states where you're just overwhelmed, and they need to talk to somebody, is there a number or anything like that on the site where they can reach out to somebody and maybe just kind of talk them down a little bit, or focus a little bit of give direction or that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, really, our patient navigator is going to be the person that you're going to want to reach out to. And then, also we really recommend our brain tumor support conversations, because I think part of that overwhelm is feeling isolated in your decisions, is not being sure where to go for the information. And so I, think that having a plan and knowing where to go for the information is just such a critical part of that. So, receiving a brain tumor diagnosis, reaching out to our patient navigator and saying, this is my situation. I'm completely overwhelmed. What questions do I ask? Where do I go? What should I be thinking about? It's really, I think, going to help provide a lot of structure for the proceedings, and helping, again, patients and caregivers feel empowered in their brain tumor journey as well.
Fantastic. Well, very good. Let's see if there's anything else that I might have missed on the page. I think we got to all the stuff that I saw as far as comments or questions. There we go. Okay, Dallas area, my sister's granddaughter. Okay, that's Cheryl who was talking about the 8-year-old. Everyone and anyone that may be going through something like this, please reach out and get help. If you are confused or maybe have questions, please reach out to NBTS. I think that after getting involved with them this whole entire this month, I think they are a great resource. And from what Lauren's been talking about, you guys can see that there's a lot there that they offer. So please, you're not alone. I also realized through our own journey that before all of this, I think of course you would hear brain tumor, somebody has a brain tumor, but it seemed really distant. And, when it happens to you or to somebody really close to you, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh. And then you start to realize that you're not alone. There are a lot of other people. And when I say a lot, it's it's a generic term. I'm not saying that everyone, one out of every so many people have one. I don't know what the statistics are, but there are plenty of people out there that are going through something similar. So you are not alone. Definitely reach out, especially if you are kind of isolated. As I mentioned, we had lots of help, even though COVID and everything else kind of limited how much help we could actually get. We were not alone, and so that was a huge help for us. And I think anyone that may be going through something like this alone really needs some type of support. It just, your brain and everything else there, I remember there were times when we weren't sure, we weren't even thinking about eating, right? We were so caught up in things, and people would bring us food to the door. Again, because of COVID, we had to be extra careful, so they'd drop it off at the porch, or somebody would go pick up, groceries for us. We'd have somebody babysitting when we had doctor's visits and things like that. So all of those things helped relieve a lot of the stress that goes along with something like this. But knowing, again, that there are groups like NBTS that you can reach out to for this is, I think, just amazing that there are people out there doing this kind of work. So, but, Lauren, absolutely appreciate you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate NBTS. I hope to work with you guys again in the future. Most definitely. I think I'll be reaching out to you from time to time, but next year for sure in May, we'll be back doing this again. And then the goal will be higher for next year. Hopefully there will also be more time to prepare for everything. I was kind of doing everything last minute, unfortunately, and it worked out. It still worked out. And I appreciate everyone that again, donated or supported the Painting with Jesse page in this in some way. Absolutely, all of you, from the bottom of mine and Erica's heart, we thank you so much. But again, it doesn't end here. The link will stay open. I'm going to go ahead and leave that open for those of you that are interested in, donating or getting involved in some way. It doesn't have to be through a donation, and it doesn't have to be through my link. You can go jump onto the MBTS site and check out what's local to you, or if there isn't anything local, you can create something. $50, $100, whatever it is that we can all just trickle in. If we all got involved, I think we would get to a cure or better treatments much more quickly, right? So I encourage everyone that's interested to please get out there and to get involved. Okay.
So well said, Jesse. And thank you so much as well. Just, as we're kind of having this conversation, it's just been a joy to work with you. And then also just so appreciative of you being so open to sharing Erica's story and your story as well as a caregiver, because I think that's an important piece of the discussion and of the conversation as well. So we thank you for advocating for our community for better treatments, not only supporting NBTS through the fundraising that you're doing, but also really using this beautiful platform that you have to create some good. So thank you so much. And it's just been an honor to be on here and to be with you all here this afternoon.
Awesome. Thank you again, Lauren. Let me really quickly look over at the comments, see if I'm sure people are starting to say goodbye, but Erica's recovering very nicely, Angie. Thank you so much. She's not quite 100%, but she's very close. But everyone, thank you for joining today. And again, this has been recorded. It's being recorded and will be available to watch. I know, 10 a.m. Start time for this isn't convenient for everyone, especially if you work, but it is recorded. You can, if you're jumping on right now, you can back it up to the beginning, but it'll stay on the Painting with Jesse page indefinitely. I'll link it or clip it. What's it called again when you put it at the top?
Pin it or something. I don't.
Pin it.
Pin it. Is that the word? Okay.
I'll be pinning it to the top of the page,
awesome.
And so anybody that's interested can check it out. Okay, but thank you all again. And yeah, I will be around. If anybody has any questions, you can message me about any of this. If, in any way I can be a little bit of help in, directing you, I would be directing you over to the National Brain Tumor Society page, but you can reach out. Most definitely be happy to help out. But again, Lauren, thank you so much. Everybody, hopefully you all enjoyed the session today and it was informative for you. But NBTS, if you guys are, again, if you guys have any questions about anything, please reach out to them using those links that we provided. Okay. Absolutely. But all right, everybody, thank you so much. Okay, thank Lauren, you stick around for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast here. But all right, everyone, thank you so much. We went great for May, reached our goal, and we'll see what happens next year and throughout the year. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.